A lot of what's holding you back is you trying to be who you think you are or who you should be. You're trying to be who you think you are, but you already are that person. You are who you are going to be in the future, just a different variation of it. And it's not about giving it up, it's about letting go of who you think you should be and letting go of who you are now. We spend a lot of time defending things about ourselves, our characteristics, our habits, and certain things, our opinions, our past. And when you defend those things so often and so much, you actually stop growing. You get cling to those things that you're constantly defending, whatever they are, and it keeps you stuck in that loop. It keeps you stuck in the past or whoever you are, whoever you want it to be. It keeps you stuck with who you are right now. It doesn't leave you any room to grow. It doesn't leave you any room to keep going and to keep doing other things. The more tightly you hold on to who you were or who you are right now, it makes it way harder for you to become who you want to be and who you are going to be down the road. People cling to old versions of themselves because it feels safe. The habits they have, the beliefs they have, some of the values they have, because it feels safe for the most part. You don't have to move. You don't have to change anything up. It feels good to stay in that space. You make your own prison in your mind. You keep yourself caged into a certain identity, to certain things. If you identify as being a certain thing and you never let it go, you're always going to think of yourself as that one thing. And then as a result of that, other people are going to start thinking you're only that thing as well. It's like maybe you're a gym bro, you go to the gym a lot. And if you only identify yourself as being somebody who's in shape or being somebody that's always in the gym, that's all you're ever going to see yourself as, and that's all you're ever going to be to other people. You're going to be that guy counting their macros everywhere or bringing a scale everywhere, weighing your food all the time, or not eating certain things or not doing certain things because everything revolves around the gym and how you look. And it's not good to be caged off like that. It's not good to build those mental prisons for yourself. And every time you grow, you have to get rid of that old version of yourself, and that's what makes it uncomfortable for a lot of people. My next video will be 60 days sober, 60 days no alcohol. And that's something big that I realized this year, was just something that I was outgrowing. It's something that didn't feel right with who I was being and who I wanted to be in the future. So I stopped it. I stopped it because it just didn't align with who I wanted to be. It didn't align with the goals I wanted to hit. It didn't align with the version of myself that I saw in the future. And if you create those cages in your mind, you're not going to be able to change things like a habit like that. Because if I just identified myself as a drinker and I just labeled myself as a drinker like I did for a few years, then I wouldn't have been able to stop. I wouldn't have been able to actually outgrow that habit or not think it's fun anymore. There's multiple layers to that, but that's just one example that I could give you. It could be anything else too. You fall into that trap of saying, I'm just that type of person, or that's just who I am. And then it doesn't incentivize you to change at all. It doesn't incentivize you to actually try to get better or try to grow in different areas. And a big weight of that is your ego and wanting to be in control. Don't really get rid of your ego. I mean, you're not going to be able to no matter how hard you try, but you should try to do your best to minimize it in certain areas. Like, don't be afraid to change your mind on certain things. Don't be afraid to grow in certain areas because of your ego. Just because you see yourself as that thing or somebody else sees you as that thing doesn't mean you have to be that forever. Your ego is really important when it comes to you actually believing in yourself and trying to get things done and wanting to be better. The ego is really good in that regard, but it's a double-edged sword. The ego can be really bad for you if you only keep doing certain things because that's your identity, or that's who you see yourself as, or that's the reputation you built up. You're doing things just because your ego doesn't want to take that hit of being less known in a certain area or not knowing a certain skill in a different area. Your ego prevents you from learning it in a lot of different ways. Your ego tries to convince you that you think you know a lot of things that you don't always know. It defines how we want to appear, what you define as success. If you never move the goalpost on what you define as success, you could end up chasing something that you don't even really care about by the time you hit it, because that's just what you think you should be doing. Letting go doesn't mean you're losing yourself. Just letting go just means you're given room, you're given space for you to actually go after what you want to truly go after. You're not doing things based off of survival, and you're not doing things to fit in, and you're not doing things for validation for others. You're doing things because you actually want to do them, and that's what you want to actually chase and what you want to actually do. And oftentimes the current version of yourself or an older version of yourself that keeps trying to pull you back down to that isn't going to get you to where you want to go if you envision yourself in a different area. Your mind tries to control everything. It tries to control outcomes, timelines, how others think of you, how others perceive you, how you think about yourself, but you can't control everything. It's not possible. Get rid of that notion that you can control every single thing in your life. You can't. You can only control what you do and how you respond to things. Those are the main two things that you can really control and change. What you do and how you respond to things. If you know you can do X amount of work and get X result, then you can control that and you can do that. But you can't control the timeline of that work. You can't control when that work is going to pay off for you. It of course depends on what it is. Like if you fix cars, like how I do sometimes, I know if I do a certain amount of work to do this water pump job, at the end of this, in a few hours, I'm gonna have a fixed water pump. For the most part, you can still have something crazy go haywire. You can snap a bolt off, you can have the wrong gasket, you can have the wrong part, not even realize it, and then it throws a wrench in your whole plan, and then you have to leave the car sitting overnight and get parts the next day and then figure it out the next day. Your brain tries to control a lot of different things, but you're not always going to be able to control everything and every aspect of things and situations. That's why, like I said, you control how you respond to things. That's the most important thing. Even if you can't control actions and timelines and things like that, you can still control how you respond to things. And oftentimes the version of you that's suffering is the one that's trying to control every single thing and every aspect of things. When you stop trying to do that, that's when you really realize that you're just letting yourself suffer and be annoyed and be irritated by things for no reason at all. A lot of us agitate ourselves and get annoyed with things way before they even happen and then way after they happen. Sometimes you get annoyed and you get agitated by something that's never even going to happen in the first place. Your brain creates a scenario or it imagines something that's not even going to happen in the first place, and you let it agitate you for days or for weeks or for hours or whatever it may be. There's freedom in that surrender. When you let go of yourself in certain ways, that's when you can let the brain juices really flow. That's when you can gravitate towards things you always wanted to gravitate towards. You're not boxing yourself in, you're not caging yourself into things. You can try out new things, just like how I'm trying this right now. I never thought I'd be doing this, but I was like, let me just try it out. The old version of myself boxed out this possibility. It X'd out this whole process of doing all this stuff. But when I got rid of that, then I was able to just get the few things I needed, learn how to edit, learn how to do a few different things, and then boom, I'm on here posting and all that stuff. That's what I'm talking about. You have to let go of that version of yourself to do new things and try out new things, because you don't know what kind of doors or things are going to open up when you start trying other stuff and you unbox yourself, you uncage yourself. It means trusting your direction, and you're not going to have a map. You're not going to have a full map on where you're going to go or where things could lead and stuff like that, but you're trusting your direction. You're trusting you're going to figure things out. You're trusting your gut is going to tell you where to go or where you should be moving into, and you're trusting that you can acquire the skills you need to get to where you want to go. And letting go gives space for authenticity. You can get really grounded with who you are and who you want to be. There's too many of us out here trying to fit into a certain thing or fit into a certain group, or just doing things outright that you don't believe in, or doing things outright that you don't even really care about. When was the last time you did something that you didn't even really care about just to do it, just because you thought it would please somebody else, or you thought that it would impress somebody else? A lot of us are doing things to impress people we don't even like in the first place. People are doing things and getting things for people that they don't even like in the first place, for people that they don't even really care about at the end of the day. They don't care about what they're doing or where they're going or what their values are or anything like that. You're just doing things just to do it, and that's not the way to go through this. And letting go makes you feel more aligned, more in tune, like I said. Then you can bring in space for other things. You can find that real solitude, like I was talking about in the last video, whether that's them gym sessions, that reading, that journaling, that reflecting, that meditation, whatever you got to do to actually wind down and get to the root of your brain and get to who you want to be and where you want to go. You got to stop trying to become something. You already are that. You already are that person. So you need to just embody what you already are first and build onto that. You're not gonna end up being some random person. You look at yourself like you're a stranger when you picture who you want to be, but it's the same exact person. You're gonna have a lot of the same values. You're gonna look the same for the most part, and you're still gonna have that brain. You're gonna have your brain in your head still. You're gonna still be you at the end of it all. So just embody yourself and build off of it. Stack those bricks so you can get to that version. But you're still gonna have to let go of a lot of areas of your life. Let go of a lot of things you used to do, a lot of habits, a lot of getting to where you want to go and becoming who you want to be is you letting go of things that don't serve you and you not doing things. A lot of that stuff is you avoiding things and cutting things out instead of you adding on a lot of different things. The things you have to do and really add on are fairly simple for the most part. The hard part is getting rid of stuff and cutting stuff out. So it's not a loss, it's evolution. So I encourage you to think about what are some areas that you're actually holding on to way too tight that if you think about it would actually probably serve you better if you let them go and try something else. Let me know down below, comment it. I want to hear about it. If you got this far, my name is TJ. If you found this helpful at all, consider hitting that like, consider subscribing. I got some more stuff on the way. And don't forget that version of you that is supposed to lead you into whatever you want to go, that life you want to live, can only show up if you let go of that version of yourself that won't let you get there. Stop caging yourself in. Stop boxing yourself in. It's not helping you at all. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all.